Hello and welcome to the Steve Kalish Show. Now, in these solo episodes, I never quite know what to talk about. I just talk to you about my day, and I just sort of catch you up on the stuff. But I know the stuff that you're really interested often is the episodes when we're all together. Me, Kev, Lissy, George, we're all sat around the table having a laugh, learning stuff. That's understandable because that's good stuff. But what I'd like to start doing in these solo episodes, and the reason that the solo episodes matter is because I want to get in practice. I want to be the best podcaster in the world someday, so I just need to be recording stuff and practicing and getting comfortable behind the camera and behind the microphone, that sort of thing. This episode is the first of a series called Lessons for My Son, because if he grows up to be anything like me, like I was, then he's going to need a helping hand. And and luckily I've been through the crucible. I have seen things that no one should see. I've self-destructed more times than I can count. But those things where I used to see them as, agonizing regrets and memories I'd try and, forget and shake off. Now I don't anymore, because those things are useful lessons for my son and for anyone who's growing up and needs some advice from a wise old idiot. I think what we'll cover first in this first lesson is the fundamentals. What fundamental things do I think that you need in order to live a good life and to make sure you're not straying too far away from happiness and what it means to be happy and what that means to you. In the lessons, we'll go into specific examples of things, what to do when you're heartbroken, depressed, anxious, stressed in very specific situations. So just so that, there's resources here for my son and for anyone who might need them. But this first episode, I just want to talk to you about the things that I believe are fundamental to human happiness. And then from the next episode, we'll go into more specific stuff. I believe, now, son, I'm addressing you, but I'm also addressing anyone else. So Leo, this is, everything I try and tell you is hard-learned lessons and hard-learned experiences. There is a lot of Andrew Tate in the world. There is a lot of confusion around what it means to be a man and how to value yourself as a man in society. And it's confusing. It's confusing for me. It's confusing for everybody. But we're going to go into depth eventually in the future episodes about what it means to be a good man and what that should mean for you, how you should orient yourself, or how it might be helpful for you to orient yourself in the future. But all I want to say, for the most part, is, Leo, if you're listening to this, what's important is that you're happy, or at least striving for happiness, and you're doing good things and you're being a good person. Those are the key things. But there are some other more fundamental truths I want to explore. So here are the things that I believe we need in order to cope as meatbags flying through the universe on this on this sphere that we call home. First of all, relationships. We are social animals. It's in our DNA. We are naught but chimpanzees. We want to be around people, and even if we feel like we don't want to be around people, there is something necessary about it. There's something deep down in our primeval past that means that we just feel better when we're around people, especially people that we love. So the first fundamental thing I want to get across is that it's important to nurture and take care of the relationships that you've got. Surround yourself with friends who have shared values like you do. If you're driven for something, if you're motivated for something, if you like something, and you're around people who make fun of that or don't understand that or have totally different interests and different goals, you're not going to, most of the time, pull them your way, the way that you want to go, the way you think would be best. You're going to, if you're the minority in that group, unless you're steel-willed, you're going to be pulled in the direction of the group. And sometimes led astray, especially in school or whatever it is. You want to be with people and be around people who support you, who like you, and who help your goals and dreams and help motivate you and push you. And those are the sort of people you want to look for. And actually, we talk about this sort of thing a lot, me and your mum, because there is advantages to putting your friendship groups in different categories. So I think it's unwise to expect one person to fulfill all the things you need from a friend or even a partner, if that's a sort of relationship that you're thinking of. There are friends I have who are drinking friends. I know they're good for a good time. I feel safe around them. They're not going to get into fights. They're just going to have a good time. And those are my sort of drinking friends. I've got other friends who are sort of emotional support friends. We know each other. We've got intimate relationships. We can talk about things. We can talk about our thoughts and our feelings. Those friends are important. But you might not want to drink with those friends. I find it easier to separate those two things. You've got friends who you like to go to football with or go shopping with. Making one friend responsible for all the things you want to do with a friend is often unfair. So, sometimes that's the best way to sort of carve that up. That's my experience. If you're surrounded by friends that you love, that love you, then I think it's important to foster those relationships and nurture them and take care of them. I mean, maybe it's insecurity on my part, but I always check in with my friends. Hey, how you doing? How's the kids? Are you okay? Anything you need? And I check in. So take care of the relationships you've got and find new relationships. There's so many friends to be had all over planet Earth. So that's that's the gift of the internet, the gift of social media. And social media, by the way, is something else we're going to be talking about in a future episode, the pros and cons and things you have to look out for. But for now, take care of your fundamental friendships. Take care of your friendships and make sure those people know that you care about them. Make sure you're supporting them and they support you. Make sure you're a good friend. That's part of being a good man, is being a good, solid, reliable friend. A lot of the lessons you learn from friendship and from trying to be a good friend are also applicable and will carry over when you get into romantic relationships. But romantic relationships we'll delve into deeper. So we can give a whole episode to it. I don't know where I'd be without my friends. Without Jacob and Tom and Taz and and particularly Roxy, Josh White, all my friends who over the years have guided me and steered me and protected me and they have. I've got very lucky. I've been very blessed with the friendships I've had, and I hope and I wish the same for you. Go and look for your people. Go and look for your people. There's nothing worse, and especially when you're in school. I mean, I don't know how old you are if listening to this, but there's nothing worse than when you're in school and in order to fit in, you have to, or I at least found I had to mold and change and warp my personality and my interests just to fit in. And one of the most freeing things I ever did was turn 20 or get into my 20s and just realize, man, I can listen to Taylor Swift. I can collect Pokemon cards. I can do whatever I like. I can be passionate and romantic, and I can be silly, and I don't have to be tough. In order to survive in the school I went to, you had to fight, and men had to fight, and it was like a dominance thing. It was like a stupid bonobo chimp thing where you had to, the toughest kids were the coolest kids. You had to either play football or you had to be able to fight. I couldn't play football, so I soon started to fight. I couldn't really fight, but I was big, so I was able to use that to good advantage. I don't want that for you listening, for you, my son, because I want you to be accepted, and I want you to understand that sometimes you do have to do things that other people are interested in. That's how you make friendships. You make compromises. You go to your friend's thing he wants to go to, and you never know what you're going to end up enjoying. But one day you get to a point where you can just do whatever you want to do, like whatever you want to like, listen to whatever you want to listen to. And if you're in a difficult place right now, if you're a teenager or if you're a young person listening to this, that doesn't last forever. And if you're brave enough, by the way, if you're in school or college and you're absolutely brave enough to be 100% yourself, openly liking the things that you like, listening to the music you want to listen to, wearing the things you want to wear, then I so admire you, because I was never brave enough to do that, because I was just so boxed in by needing the approval of cool kids, because I wanted to be one. And but then I got to a place where I was popular, and I just find that really uncomfortable. Schools might still be like that. You might still have to prove how tough you are just to get through. I know that is the case where we come from, but I hope not. I hope not for you. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, so oh god, I've just gone on a whole episode about friendships. So the other fundamental things, which maybe I'll go into more details about in the next episode, the other fundamental things are nature. You need to be in and around the countryside. Your eyes need to rest upon green. It's restful, it's peaceful, and it's good for some part of your soul, some part of your DNA. You need friendships. You need to be out in nature regularly. You need to be up on nutrition and health. You need to be some crazy health nut, but you do need to understand that sugar is so bad for you in ways that, for the most part, as 90s kids, we were sort of blind to. So be careful what you put in your body. Your body is a car, and it needs the correct fuel, and you drink plenty of water. That's the other thing. So let's break it down so far. Friendships, nature, the right food, plenty of water. And the other thing I'm going to have on this list for the initial first 5 things of these lessons is goals, even little goals. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, I've got big goals. I want to be the best podcaster in the world, but you need smaller goals sometimes. Sometimes if you're depressed or anxious and everything is black and you can't see a way out, dramatically minimizing your goals to, okay, today I'm just going to get out of bed. Okay, I'll go out of bed. Today I'm just going to give myself some toast. Or, and then those things are huge achievements because you've scaled back what you should expect from yourself for the sake of surviving and then getting better. So little goals. So, for example, complete your college course, complete your, go to school, get successful, get good grades, do, by the end of the week, make sure you've helped 2 people, make sure you've helped your mum with housework, things that are totally achievable. Then once you've done, you can tick them off and say, hey, look at me, I'm building in character. So let's go over that again. So these are the fundamental things that I believe are essential for human happiness. Friendships, nature, food, water, goals, appropriate goals. And there are lots of others. I can make a list of maybe 20 or 30 things, but those are the 5 things I want to focus on at the moment. Anyway, I hope I haven't waffled on too much. I want this series to be educational. It's for you, kid. It's for you, Leo. If you're listening to this one day, then I want you to know that I love you very much. I love you. You're a great kid, and you're so loved. I mean, you are in a position where you're very blessed because you were born into 2 parents who love each other very, very much, and they love you. And man, you won the sort of lottery in that sense because a lot of people aren't that lucky. So hopefully you don't need any of this advice because I'm still around and I'm giving you this advice in person. But I will continue to make these just in case. So thank you for listening to the Steve Kalish Show. Oh, and also, son, the biggest piece of advice I can give you is if you ever need just a sponsor or if you ever need windows and doors, get yourself to grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk. Thanks for sponsoring this episode, grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk. Really appreciate it. I recently made a advert for Graham's Windows and Doors, a silly sort of what was it? I suppose it's just like a silly little advert that I made for them. Was want to make people laugh and highlight where the shop was and stuff. So I made an advert for grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk. So go to Instagram and you can see my genius Spielberg-esque advert I made. And also go visit grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk because they sponsor the show. They're incredible people. So thank you for listening to this. I'm not sure if there's much of an episode here. I just sort of wanted to sit down and waffle. But this series from now on will be Lessons for my son. And let this be the introduction. And next week we'll tackle a specific theme that I haven't considered yet because my cup doth overflow. But thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time.
Hiya, you're right. Hi, everyone.